What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. Alright, this story's called That Could Have Been Better. I have read a lot of these stories. I find them very entertaining, but up until today, I never thought I would have one I thought was post-worthy. Here's the cast. There's me, secretary, crazy guy's wife. So the morning started out like normal. I'm chilling at my desk, doing work like normal, making money for the company as well as myself. Here talking from downstairs. Nothing new. Then talking is slowly turning into shouting. I get a page on my office phone. I need you to come down here, please. Everything okay?
You need to get your ass down here! Now!
Mind you, I'm not small. I'm a 6'2", not really ripped, 345-pound dude. I worked outside in the shop from the bottom to get to the office. I know all there is to know about the company. Secretary has been here longer than me. She knows I know what I'm talking about. Hi, how can I help you? What seems to be the problem? Crazy guy didn't see me as he was still death glaring our secretary. Crazy lady saw me.
Your company is full of lazy ass people and needs to shape up its act.
Crazy guy sees me, steps back, grabs the wife to pull her behind him. At this point, seeing this, I knew he came to the shop for a fight. I used to be a bouncer at night to make extra money when I worked in the shop. Reading people is one of the things you pick up quick while working there. His posture suggested he was going to be aggressive.
What kind of crap show you running here?
I need to know what is wrong so I can help you.
You already know what this is about. I called you already. I told you I would come down. Did you think I was bluffing? I'm not afraid of you.
People who say that are, as I have received no calls this morning or yesterday about problem situations. I am at a loss. I look at secretary and she is shaking her head and shrugging her shoulders.
Oh my god, this is so unprofessional. I'm gonna give this place a bad review.
I have not heard your reason for being here and what is upsetting you.
You know.
I would not be asking if I knew.
This and other horse crap. You did not deliver the trusses for the roof. Your customer service is a joke. I want my money back.
Yeah, all of it, by the way. The deposit and the other half. Yeah, all of it. All of it. One time.
I am even more confused as we do not do the half and half thing. In the past, the company got screwed that way, but I know our competitors do. But which one, I don't know. But I have a way of finding out which one, as this field is very competitive and close-knit circle. Who did you speak to?
I spoke to the...
I'll just call him Chad.
He said we would get our trusses yesterday.
Mind you, when she talks, she has a finger in my face.
Yeah, and they never showed up.
As I have dealt with a lot of so-called alpha males in my life, they raise their voice to assert their dominance over me. It doesn't work. At this point, I am annoyed that they are thinking we are our competitors. I am getting yelled at and demeaned by two idiots that didn't see the giant sign right as they drove in. It's a huge logo. It's 8 feet tall and 15 feet long. I know. I helped make it. I ask calmly again, are you sure you're where you're supposed to be right now? At this point, that is the last of my I'm gonna be nice thread I have. Secretary in Hawaiian. Don't do it. Stern look on her face.
Do what?
She gets in my face. That's a big no-no.
What do you think you're gonna do?
You took my wife!
He grabs me and tried to put me through the wall behind me. Mind you, I outweigh this guy by 100 pounds at least. I'm not moving, and my gloves have just run out. He ripped my shirt pocket. I grab both of them in a bear hug, take them outside the office, plant them in the driveway. At this point, secretary already called the cops. I turn and point to the giant sign. Is this where you're supposed to be? Literally just dawned on them that they were at the wrong place. The woman walks closer as if her eyes cannot adjust manually. 2 minutes later, falls on the ground screaming.
My wife! Call someone, call 911!
I turn to go back to the office. My head shakes. I stop and turn to find crazy guy with a stick he found on the ground. I'm about to unleash a holy terror on the guy as he has the look on his face of Arnold hitting the Predator when the police show up. Me still totally pissed, did not see the police until they came to stop me. The guy is claiming all sorts of crazy nonsense, as well as the woman. I invite everyone to my office. I show them the camera feed and the recordings of the whole thing. Crazy lady is confused. Goes downstairs, sees the camera. Comes back upstairs, looks at the monitor. Looks at me. Looks at the monitor. Looks at me. She does a crazy growl and leap thing. I dodge and put my hand on her back, pinning her to my desk. Oh, crazy guy hero moment does a jump at me. I do the same thing to him. Crazy lady screaming. Cops don't care. Both go away in handcuffs. What is this, a green text? Their car got towed as well. Yes, me and secretary press charges. I talk to the guy they're supposed to be talking to. Come to find out that they were getting trusses in the morning, but didn't, as no one was there to receive the trusses. Crazy guy and crazy lady sent the contractor home to come deal with us, as now the job is not finished. The contractor cannot get paid. The job is not finished. The house is open. Trusses sitting on the ground. Owners in jail. When it rains, it pours. Yo, as I said that, like, my ears started ringing. Do I have tinnitus? I'm kidding. It's still ringing though. That's weird. Like my hearing just went out and then it was weird. Okay. Sorry, you're my WebMD. Badass security story. I knew a dude back in high school, when I was in Colorado. This guy named Garrett. He was a huge ass dude, and he was in high school. I'm pretty sure, no, he was a little bit older than me, but back when I was in like 15, 16, he was like 16, 17. Anyway, no, he was younger than me. That's crazy. He was huge. My point is, he was so big and intimidating that, he was often used, not often used. He had been a bouncer before, and he was in high school. So like earlier high school. It was crazy. But he's also a really talented artist. Insanely amazing work. In fact, I'd say it's safe to say him, and this other girl, Bailey, they were like top 2 artists in the entire school. Obviously, that's not a metric that you can really measure. There's not really a point in calling it a metric then, is it? But anyway, that's not what art is. But I'm saying, technically speaking, if they were asked to replicate something, he was amazing. And he was just amazing at depicting scenes of like, I don't know, a ship on a freaking stormy sea. It was insane. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. This is unrelated. Garrett, you go, guy. All right, this story's called Warzone or Home. I'm not quite sure this story belongs here, but my friends keep saying I should post it, and I think this subreddit is the closest that fits. So here goes. It was the summer 2010. I was 27, old boy. I'm kidding. Male, and I was gallivanting about the Middle East after doing some volunteer work for a few weeks in a refugee camp in Palestine. My brother! I had flown into Jordan initially. I'm Australian, so an 18-hour flight, but I just spent the last few weeks having fun border hopping and exploring the region. What a dude. I had 4x4'd across the Wadi Rum to see Petra. Wadi Rum to see Petra. Petra, sorry. And then hired a Bedouin to take me to the coast where I spent a week scuba diving the Red Sea. Did you see Moses? After I caught a ferry to Egypt, where I did the usual time-honored tourist things of ancient ruins, camel riding, buying useless junk, and haggling over everything. Amazing. Since I was flying out of Amman, I had to take a flight from Cairo to Amman airport to make my long journey back to the land down under. Down under. I don't know if that was right. I was walking from one end of Amman airport to the other to find my departing flight back home. A flight which didn't leave for 4 hours. Damn. When I found a thin Jordanian man running toward me, trying to get my attention. He wasn't dressed in any particular uniform. He looked like any sort of normal Jordanian. Perhaps a guide or a translator, I thought. He had been shouting at me apparently for the last few minutes from a distance, but I had my headphones in and had screened out the bustle of the busy airport. Mister, I have been looking for you. Come quickly, he said with pretty decent English. I was slightly taken aback that he knew who I was, but he grabbed me by the arm and started to lead me to somewhere in the airport. What's wrong? Is it my flight? I asked, confused. Yes, they're all waiting for you, was the reply. Now, this made me even more confused, as again, my flight wasn't for another 4 hours. I queried this, but the man responded with, your flight is leaving right now. We were basically jogging now, the man guiding me through the airport crowd, and we had covered a decent amount of ground. down. But as far as I could tell, going in the wrong direction to my flight. The more I thought about it, this didn't make any sense at all. So I stopped in my tracks. My flight isn't supposed to leave for another 4 hours. Has it been changed? The man also stopped and looked at me confused.
No, it's waiting for you now. Everyone else is aboard.
This convinced me. That can't be my flight. Are you sure you've got the right person? The man stopped and seemed to size me up as he looked at me.
Of course, you're going to Afghanistan, yes?
So, one thing. I'm actually ex-Army reservist and was using my old Army backpack and boots, which I hung off the back of my backpack when I was wearing non-hiking boots, say like when in airports. The thing is, I was pretty dirty. I just spent the last few weeks in the desert, and even though I myself was relatively clean, my clothes and backpack were looking pretty well used. Realization hit me. He thinks I'm running late to deploy to a war zone. Oh, no, I'm not a soldier. I'm going home to Australia. The man gave me an incredulous look and gestured to my backpack.
You're not Army?
He asked. I shook my head and said, ex-Army, just on holiday. He pointed at me.
American?
I shook my head. No, Australian, civilian. He and I looked at each other for a moment and both burst out laughing. He explained there was a U.S. Army unit already on the tarmac and awaiting the arrival of one very late member. Upon seeing my appearance, he just assumed this clueless Aussie was his very tardy lost infantryman. Upon realizing I wasn't his missing soldier, he excused himself and rushed off to continue his search. I must admit, a small mischievous part of me wishes I had said yes and wandered off to join whatever this unit that was deploying to Afghanistan. My ex-unit was actually deployed in the region at the time, so it might have made for a hilarious reunion, albeit a dangerous one. But luckily for me, my sensible part of my brain kicked in and had decided sleeping for 18 hours on my flight back to Australia, or Oz, I guess. Ounce? 18 hours on my fight back to Ounce was much smarter choice. I suck. Edit. There is a little bit of an extra bonus story that I'll put in the comments, as it's not really like your lady, but it happened directly after this. Wow, I wonder what that story is. I really do, because I'm not gonna read it on here. Alright, this story's called Restaurant Team Can't Figure Out Their Billing Software. I set it up for them and print my own bill, extra large. Like my first post, but hopefully not the last. Background story. This happened nearly a decade ago. I was working at a startup e-commerce venture. We were a small team and it was my job to put in the processes and train the staff. Every month I would work on one department and document the IT, reporting, and other processes they need to follow, train them, and identify the person who could lead the team. It was my practice to invite the most promising employees and take them out for either drinks or a meal and get to know them better before coming to a decision. There were several restaurants and bars near our office, one of which I never patronized as it was too upscale. One day I noticed that one of the girls I was keen to promote as team lead for the customer support team was about to have a meltdown at work. I quickly pulled her off the floor immediately and took her to this upscale place, both to let her feel that she was valued as well as get a bit of privacy so I could understand all her issues. Incident. We had what could be called a high tea and were ready to leave when one of the servers requested if we could wait for a few minutes before they bring the bill to us. I had a meeting with one of the directors, so I left my company card with this girl, asked her to settle the bill and rejoin her team after clearing the bill. My meeting went on for half an hour, and when I went to get my card back, the girl had not returned to work. I feared that she might have tried to run away with the card or something, so I quickly rushed to the restaurant, only to find her still waiting for the mysterious bill. I lost my cool and threatened the manager that they could not keep a patron waiting, and I was gonna call the cops on them for not letting the girl leave while not presenting the bill at the same time. Those bastards. Till this time, the staff was trying to avoid presenting the bill. Now, they admitted the software that they ran had been upgraded that day, and none of them could make it work. They were waiting for someone
someone from the IT team to come and update them. Wow. In the meantime, they didn't think of putting the clothes on because no customers came in at that time of the day.
It was amusing, to say the least, and I didn't want the poor staff to pay out of their pockets for our meal. I don't know what came over me, and I asked them to show me the system. I was used to setting up systems, and in short order figured out what they were messing up and took the notepad the servers to use to take the orders and wrote step-by-step instructions for them and printed the bill for my own meal. Then I taught them to link the card machine to their system, printed my own bill, and swiped my card. By this time, the news that I was setting up the billing system for the restaurant had spread like wildfire in our office, as I had asked my colleague to go back to her station, and she couldn't keep this juicy tale to herself. The fallout! When I was done, I saw the director of my company waiting for me. He was negotiating with the restaurant chain for hiring out my services to them. I was only thankful no one got fired in this whole fiasco. What a guy! Dude. If you wanted to, you could totally make that girl yours. Alright, this story's called Wearing a Polo Automatically Means You Work Here. For context, my work, I'm required to wear a green polo shirt with my work's logo, and I went to a store where they wore red polos. One day after my shift, I went to a grocery store. I normally will cover my work shirt with a jacket because I don't want anyone to ask about my work when I just want to shop and go home. I hear someone saying, "Excuse me, hello, I'm talking to you." I assume, oh, it's a man? God damn, okay, that's his voice, I don't care. I assume I'm in his way and just move to the side. Nope, he waves his hand in front of his face and proceeds with the whole, "I've been trying to get your attention. This is such bad customer service. Where is this item? I tell him that I don't work here. He proceeds to open my jacket to prove that I did in fact work there, and said, "Well, if you don't work here, why are you wearing a polo?" I quickly move because some random guy just opened my jacket, and proceed to tell him, "This is a green polo with a frog logo. The employees here wear red with a name tag. I don't work here and don't touch me." He backed off, but then proceeded to berate me for wearing a polo to a grocery store, and how it's my fault because I looked the part, and then walked off. I think he was red-green colorblind, or just thinks polos are only for grocery employees and no one else. No, I just think it's a dude who refuses to be in the wrong, because I'm not 100% certain, as I'm not colorblind, because I've got amazing superior eyes and not like you losers that are colorblind. Sorry, but that's just the truth. I can't speak English. That was a joke, by the way. You're beautiful, and your eyes are sexy. I knew a guy in high school, back at the same high school. They were actually friends too. This guy, Jonah, he was red-green colorblind, and he could differentiate different colors like red and green, but they just wouldn't be accurate representations like in his brain. Then again, how do you know for sure? I mean, obviously there's tests, but like, what if my yellow is your blue, but we just call it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. I know you do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.